And get all right. And go in. Let's see what it is. Oh, imagine I've got some stuff tagged too since I last saw you. Probably. Oh my gosh, yeah, that insanity in Bondi Beach. Crazy. Oh, and then what's the latest with Brown? Were the was the second round of reported shots legit or not? Did that actually end up happening? Last I saw last night, there were more shots being reported. Right here.
Right now about shots potentially fired here at the main green. Police currently
Reporter says she's seeing that there were reports of shots fired at Brown University's Rockefeller Library moments ago. Police say it's likely a hoax, but they'll check on it.
library. Is there any validity to that, or are those?
This is like 20 minutes after they released the suspect that they had originally had. Oh, and then Rob Reiner. Then Rob Reiner is like found dead with his wife, like stabbed to death. Crazy Rob Reiner, Trump derangement syndrome himself. Which is sad. I watched Stand By Me last night just because I respect Rob Reiner as a filmmaker and he makes good movies. Made good movies. No shame. Sounds like his son did it. Talk I'm seeing. His son was like a drugged out wacko, I guess. All right, hold on. I'm trying to pop up my chats so I can see all. Okay, where's Dude. YouTube. Your channel. There we are. Here's YouTube. Morning, YouTube. All right. Yeah, it is tragic. Sad. I looked at Rob Reiner as just a sad figure anyway before all this. He was a talented guy. He really was. I mean, All in the Family is tops. Kind of hard to beat it. And he made great movies. Truly great movies. Not just like, good mediocre. He made really, really good movies. He was a damn fine filmmaker. Really good. And the hole that he fell in the last decade of his life here is just sad. Sad because it destroyed him. It literally destroyed him. It got so bad he even checked into a rehab. I understand. Which is it's sad that somebody could be that affected, that obsessed, that completely like overtaken by everything. Very sad. By all accounts, from all the people that I am acquainted with that knew him, he was a very nice guy, and the person that we saw online was not the person that they knew. Is again sad. Let me pull something up on that. He did The Princess Bride, freaking classic. Very hard to beat. Stand By Me, which is like the childhood nostalgia movie. It's really I can't really think of any others that come even close to that. Stand By Me is just incredible. Great movie. Misery. Did he do Misery? Another great. Yeah, it was him, Rob Reiner. That is another fantastic. That is a really good movie. Very good movie. The cultural loss for us. Although I don't think he was really making films. It is certainly not of this quality in the last decade of his life. He was too focused on Trump. Obsessed. Here we go.
Breaking overnight, police are investigating now the shocking deaths of legendary director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Found dead in their Los Angeles home yesterday, the couple was killed in what authorities are calling apparent homicides. In a late-night press conference, the LAPD, though, said they are not currently searching for anyone as a suspect, saying at that point they were still seeking a search warrant to carry out a full crime scene investigation there. CNN's Stephanie Elam has the very latest. She is near the home in Los Angeles and joins us now. Stephanie, what are you hearing?
Kate, obviously we're looking for so many more answers to so many questions that people have here. And obviously we're not getting them as quickly as people would like. We can see back here behind me, we've got police lights, and down there we can see the investigation where those clear lights are down there in the distance, those white lights. All of this happening here in this tight-knit community of Brentwood, and just a seismic loss, not just for Hollywood, but also for a lot of people outside of this industry as well, when you look at how much the Reiners have contributed to what has produced here in California and in the country. So lots of questions on what has happened here. What we do know, as we heard from the LAPD Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton, is that there are still more steps before we get more answers. Take a listen.
I don't know what the word on the sun is or where that's coming from, but that's what I've seen bounced all over the place since last night.
Not exactly looking for a suspect. Are you confident you know who did this?
We have not identified a suspect at this time.
Well, then shouldn't you be looking?
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any truth to the rumors about the son, or if it's just people are jumping immediately to that because he has a long history of issues.
For one, so these neighbors aren't worried about their own lives and their own safety?
Yeah, so at this time, after we determine, so I need everyone to understand something. In order to comply with the legal process, before we do anything here, we have to get a search warrant because there are issues regarding standing at this residence.
I also immediately saw attempts to blame this on MAGA, like suggesting that some MAGA person like snuck in there and killed him or something, and his wife. Cuckoo.
So as long as those legal requirements are met, we can continue the investigation.
And then keep in mind that it is just after 4 o'clock in the morning.
Let me see if there's any mainstream mention of the son yet. Son in custody, allegedly. I don't know. That's just the Nothing Burger channel. Let's see. Oh. Investigating apparent homicide. Yep. I don't see any mention of the son as the perp yet here, but not by mainstream outlets anyway. I've just seen the rumor bouncing around on social media. Really? No joke. RT3 box 6 DX74. It's an odd one to spell out. In YouTube chat said elsewhere, I heard a comment that Rob was a lone lib who made gracious remarks regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. That would actually shock me. Rob Reiner being who he is, like, did he really? Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, the guy was fried, but all the people that I am acquainted with in that business, that in a number of cases knew him, found him to be a gentleman, in person and in work. Like to the point where it stood out to them, you know. Apparently a very nice guy. Outside of, you know, the Trump insanity. Here's video of that. Okay, let me pull that up, Steph. Oops.
When you first heard about the murder of Charlie Kirk, what was your immediate gut reaction to it?
Well, horror, absolute horror. And I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him, and that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems. And I felt like what his wife said at the service at the memorial they had was exactly right. And totally, I believe, you know, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in doing to others, and I believe in forgiveness. And what she said to me was beautiful and absolutely, you know, she forgave his assassin. And I think that is admirable.
Interesting. You wouldn't expect that. If you knew him strictly solely through his online persona, you know. He did leave X. I remember. I don't remember exactly when, but at some point over the last year, he left X, and maybe that was good for him. Certainly seems like a happier individual in that interview than the one I came to know on X over the last decade. Cuckoo insanity. This just goes to show you, people can always surprise you, you know. You never know. Even someone like him. All right, let's see. What else? Then we got all the Bondi Beach insanity. My goodness gracious. Oh, yeah. I understand they're already trying for new gun laws. Is that the case?
Can you tell me what happened?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Rob Reiner was also the director of This is Spinal Tap. Yep. Another, like, knockout, top of the top classic. It's a true loss for America. Even with all the insanity in the last years of his life, it's sad. Now let's get to the Bondi Beach stuff. Here. And yes, he did do Stand By Me, which is, I'd say, probably my favorite film by him. I just watched it again last night. All the way through. It was up to like 2:33 in the morning. I had to finish it. Such a good movie. Really, really so good. Highly recommend watching it if you've never seen it, especially if you're a young, if you're a man, you know, you grew up as a young boy in that time or any time after. Really, it doesn't matter if you experience the time the film takes place in. It is universal to childhood. And I mean, well, I don't know about kids today. It might be a bit different, but it's a truly great film. All right. There's a good one on Bondi here. Well, they were father and son, huh? No shit. The hero that ran up and took one of them down, got the shotgun from him.
Last night I announced that I had determined that it was a terrorist activity and made a declaration as such as 9:36 p.m. As a result of that declaration, we commenced Operation ARQUES, ARQUES, which is a joint counter-terrorism operation. That is New South Wales Police working very closely with our Commonwealth partners to ensure that we thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident yesterday. We have progressed at pace overnight with that investigation. As a result of investigations undertaken, I can say that we are not looking for a further offender. We are satisfied that there were 2 offenders involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased. The second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted 2 search warrants last night, one at Bonnie Rig and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him.
Yeah, so I hear tell that this guy was known to them for like what, like longer than he was a licensed firearm holder? Like they knew about this guy for like 6 freaking years. I think it is the entire time that he was a licensed gun owner. Like what the F?
We are satisfied that we have 6
It smells like Aussie Fed bullshit.
firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi. We will continue to investigate this matter thoroughly. It's important for the community to have the reassurance that New South Wales Police, working with our Commonwealth partners, will not stop until we understand the reasons behind this senseless incident and take any available action that we need to do. We always work closely with our Commonwealth partners to make sure that we keep the community safe.
Yep. So are they hitting the gun laws already? If it's not bad enough out there. Australia to tighten gun laws after Bondi Beach shooting. Oh no.
We are stronger than the cowards who did this.
Loser.
And I want to conclude finally by saying that the government is prepared to take whatever action is necessary.
Yeah, that's right. We should get rid of all the guns, not people that don't belong in our country. Get rid of the guns, but we'll keep all the people that shouldn't be here. You know, the people that did this.
Included in that is the need.
You know, we'll just continue importing terrorists, but the guns, we're banning them. Unless, of course, you're a terrorist, because you'll get them anyway.
For gun laws. And this afternoon at 4 o'clock, I will put on the agenda of the National Cabinet tougher gun laws, including limits on the number of guns that can be used or licensed by individuals. A review of licences over a period of time. People's circumstances change. People can be radicalised.
How would any of that have done anything here?
Over a period of time.
I mean, considering you all knew that this guy was a freak, apparently, for 6 frickin' years and did nothing.
Licences should not be in perpetuity. And checks, of course, making sure that those checks and balances are in place as well. We will I'll take to National Cabinet this afternoon a proposal to empower agencies to examine what can be done in this area. Quite clearly, the Howard government's gun laws have made an enormous difference in Australia and are a proud moment of reform, quite rightly, achieved across the Parliament with bipartisan support. If we need to toughen these up, if there's anything we can do, I'm certainly up for it, and I hope to get National Cabinet on board for that this afternoon as well. I'll ask the Minister to make some comments, and then the Acting Deputy Commissioner, Nigel Ryan, to make some comments as well.
Thanks, Prime Minister. Yesterday...
All right, let's leave that media conference there, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese.
Wow. This witness here, Jewish witness at must have been at the Hanukkah celebration that was going on, like on the beach or whatever. It was like a festival basically. It was like a, actually, let me see, it might be in this thread. Yeah, it was like a big, like open air kind of festival sort of thing, like food vendors and music performers, maybe, you know. It was a lively scene. Here you go.
Okay, thank you. How many? One, it's enough. Just to feel the Hanukkah.
So this witness says there were 4 policemen, yet they let the perps shoot for like 20 minutes. One terrorist was on the bridge, another one under the bridge, and the police were, what, they're just watching, just doing nothing?
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes, there was 2 shooters, one on the bridge, one under the bridge. Just started to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot, change magazine and just shoot.
I mean, I don't know that I would put that down to false flag necessarily. It could just be that Aussie cops are fucking pussies. I'm just saying.
20 minutes was 4 policemen there. Nobody gave fire back. Nothing. Like they are froze. Like for it looked like 20 minutes. Like, and they shoot. The guy changed magazine. I look at him all the time. I was doing my babies under me, and I look at that, and it's just rifle and a pistol, and just shoot. And the other one was under. They started to come close to the audience. I think one of the people took his rifle and shoot him. That's one of them. That's what I saw. I didn't know how much I saw, but...
Who were they targeting?
Oh, all the crowd. Anyone. Jewish. Just shoot. Doesn't matter who. Men, all kids, everyone. Was no...
Did they say anything?
I couldn't hear. Like the shooting was so loud that we couldn't hear if they said. I was too far.
Wow, thank you. Okay, so Poe says newly released images confirm eyewitness claims that 4 officers were close to the attackers during the massacre, but failed to act.
He was on the bridge. I was near the tent. So, but I saw. I look at him. I look what he shot. I look at his rifle. He aimed. He did. He really take his time. He should take his time. And 4 policemen there.
Oh wow! So Poe continues. But they failed to engage with photos showing 3 female officers fleeing or hiding instead of attempting to respond to the threat. Ah, yes, lady cops.
Didn't give fire back. I don't understand why.
What was going through your mind?
I think like I'm Israeli, like I'm familiar with this situation, but like it's terrible in the middle of Bondi. It's terrible, terrible.
What was tonight supposed to be about?
Hanukkah events, Jewish Hanukkah events. Like we do it every year. Sunday, first day of Hanukkah, we do it here. For me, it's not. I'm get used to that, but.
What is this?
Like try to kill us, like this, like terrorism, like try to kill Jews. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are. You kill a Jew. That's it. And it's time the people in the street that are starting to understand we are not a target. We are civilian like you. We do the same thing. There is no reason that we feel not safe here in our country. This is our country. This is how we live, where we live. We need to feel safe.
Is your family safe? Is your family okay?
I come with 6 kids, and thanks God, yes, everybody's safe.
Okay. And what did you see? The people who? What, did you see anyone injured? Did you
I see 6 people dead and 6 people injured. 6 or 7 people injured.
What words come to mind? How do you describe this moment?
I was a soldier, so I just checked that my kid is okay, that everybody around me is okay.
I want to see these photos. Bondi, email, app. What? What was this one doing? Here we go. Yeah, look at, she's totally having a melty. She's having a melty. Having a full-blown melty right there on the sidewalk. Like, there are multiple other male officers having to calm her. And even put their hands on her vest to stop her from flailing around like a retard. Wow. Of course, that's after I think everything is stopped. Of course, you see all the people up on the bridge where everything happened, so. But still, like, come on. What? Oh, here's one. Hiding behind a car. Oh, they even drove past. Police drove past the terrorists. Female cops accused of freezing. Oh, joy. Well, surprise, surprise. Okay.
Curious if we can hear anything.
Brown University. Oh yeah, wasn't there something screwy with this one too? Like some student that was in a school shooting or something, like Parkland. I think it was Parkland, right?
Okay, so
they happened to be at this one too.
They're getting ready to do more reporting live on air there. But you can see this active situation. We do have Jamie Copenhaver standing by.
No,
Jamie...
no, we don't have Jamie Copenhaver standing by, sir. Thank you for asking. All right, let's go here. Okay. Oh yeah, we got a good pile to go through. Yes, we do. There we go. So Trump today is participating in a Mexican border defense medal presentation. Participating in a Christmas reception. Very nice. Participating in, I don't know if that's the same Christmas reception or another Christmas reception, but they listed twice. Manhunt now full steam ahead this morning after police. Oh, finally. Oh no, never mind. I thought that was going to say released a photo of the suspect, but no. Released the person of interest that they were holding. Evidence now points in a different direction.
Shortly, we will be releasing the person of interest who had been detained earlier today, and the Attorney General can speak a little bit about the rationale for that, but we want to inform the community that that individual will shortly be released from Providence Police. Shortly, we will be releasing the person of interest who had...
Okay.
So now asking the public for help. Police say that you should, if you have video or photos from this shooting, submit it at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting.
Oh my gosh.
Or call 401-272-3121 with any tips. Brown University. So now asking the public for help.
That's just... There's some reporting by People magazine that Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were killed by their son. Being put to exclusive sources. They don't say who, but I have to assume someone in law enforcement. Police say Nick is alive and being questioned.
It is still an active investigation, as you would imagine, here in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Police Department still refusing to confirm the identity of the two bodies they found inside the home owned by director Rob Reiner, but a Reiner family statement confirming that those killed were indeed the director himself and his wife, Michelle. The initial call came in yesterday afternoon. LAFD and the LAPD responding found those two people dead, but police so far remaining very tight-lipped about their investigation and saying nothing.
Wonder who made the 911 call.
About a potential suspect. Listen here.
At this time, the Los Angeles Police Department is not seeking anyone as a suspect or as a person of interest or in any other manner, and we will not be doing that until we conduct our investigation and we move forward.
Now, police did confirm that the initial call came from inside the home. There are reports that it was made by Reiner's daughter, Romy. There are also...
Oh, gee.
Some reports that among those being questioned is the Reiner's 32-year-old son, Nick. He has been open in the past about his mental health issues and his struggles with drug addiction. Rob Reiner, of course, is a much-loved movie director responsible for some huge hits, including When Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride, and of course A Few Good Men. He was also politically active, and tributes have been pouring in from politicians. Former President Barack Obama, the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, and California Governor Gavin Newsom, who said of Reiner, quote, his boundless empathy made his stories timeless, teaching generations how to see goodness and righteousness in others and encouraging us to dream bigger. Rob will be remembered for his remarkable filmography and for his extraordinary contribution to humanity. Now, we are expecting, Ainsley, a news conference with the LAPD within the next few hours. We expect to get more details from them then. We saw earlier, just about 3 hours ago, the coroner's van leaving the scene here. So the autopsy is already underway, so we should get a lot more detail about this tragic incident and the death of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle in the next few hours.
Oh. Jeez. The youngest daughter, huh? What it sounds like. Found him. Insanity Down Under. Oh boy. Alright, more on this. What? Pushing more gun control and touting bans on Nazi symbols? What does that have to do with this?
We take Asia's advice
What did they have Nazi symbols on their guns or something again? Like that bullshit?
very seriously. We work closely with
Didn't look like it based on the photos I saw, but
them. We receive regular updates as well. The Director General of Asia has warned about a range of threats, be it anti-Semitism, the rise of right-wing extremist groups as well. And we continue to work closely with our security agencies. We take Asia's advice very seriously. We work closely with them.
cuckoo. All right. Ahmed Al-Ahmed seen on social media, yes, disarming the gunman, or one of the gunmen, during the Bondi Beach attack. Praised by his cousin as a hero.
I don't know exactly what happened, but when he see that, he take the gun off from the guy. And everyone they see in the social media what's going on, what happened, but still he's in the hospital and we don't know exactly what's going inside. But they said the doctor, he's very okay. And next 2 hours, they let us to go in and see Ahmed, because he's still inside and he do the operation. But we hope he will be fine. He's a hero, 100% he's a hero. I don't know exactly what happened, but when he see that, he take the gun off.
Oh, here's more from the rumor mill. Reiner. Throats were slit. Tragedy was discovered by one of the couple's daughters, Romy Reiner, the young one, born in the 90s, who walked in the aftermath of the fight. Reiner and wife Michelle had their throats slit inside Brentwood home. Attack was brutal and targeted. Sources indicate the double homicide was not a random attack, but the result of a specific confrontation. We're told a heated argument erupted inside the mansion between the couple and a family member. Remains unclear exactly what triggered the dispute, but escalated into lethal violence. Tragedy was discovered by one of the couple's daughters, who walked into the aftermath. Sources say she not only found her parents' bodies, but immediately told police a specific member of the family had killed them. She reportedly urged officers to treat this person as a suspect immediately. He's dangerous. Daughter's warning to law enforcement was explicit and alarming. Sources say she told the police that the family member in question should be a suspect because they're dangerous. Media characterization suggests the family may have been aware of a volatile situation or escalating behavior prior to the murders. Yikes. That's about it. Yep. Okay, woman moved quickly to protect a young girl on her own during the shooting on Bondi Beach, telling her, "I got you." All right.
And on a day with a lot of heavy news, we'll leave you with this story of bravery from Sydney and another warning about disturbing video from the scene. As shots rang out over Bondi Beach, Jessica Rosen moved quickly to protect her young family. But while her husband ran to safety with their toddler, she saw a young girl on her own screaming. Jessica stayed behind to lie on top of her until the shooting stopped. In video obtained by The Guardian, you can hear her repeating, "I got you. I got you." Jessica and the young girl survived. As Mr. Rogers once said, look for the helpers.
There's the hero. Goes in at like the perfect moment. Nails it.
Oh! C'est un malade! Oh mon gros!
And then I believe mere moments later, just after the camera pans off, he gets shot by the other guy, trying to help his buddy out. Oh, that clip cuts off, but later on it pans over and you can see the guy shooting in that direction. And indeed later, the hero there was seen as having taken a couple bullets. Find that real quick. Yep, there he is. Like he took one in the shoulder or upper arm and the leg. Yep, there he is. Okay, President Trump addresses the weekend's loss of life.
Before we begin, however, I want to just pay my respects to the people. Unfortunately, 2 are no longer with us. Brown University, 9 injured, and 2 are looking down on us right now from heaven. And likewise in Australia, as you know, that was a terrible attack. 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody. I must say in Syria also, we had an attack in Syria, and we had 3 great patriots terminated by bad people, and not the Syrian government. It was ISIS. Syrian government fought by our side. The new president fought by our side. But I just want to pay my respects to the families. We also had 3 injured, but 2 of them are already out of the hospital. One's going to be okay. But we lost 3, so it was a rough day. But to Australia and the Prime Minister, to everybody that we know so well, we get along with so well, we have a great relationship. That's a terrible situation going on over there. Think of that. And Brown University, great school. Great, really one of the greatest schools anywhere in the world. Things can happen. So to the 9 injured, get well fast, and to the families of those 2 that are no longer with us, I pay my deepest regards and respects from the United States of America. Thank you very much. It's a very important thing to say, and we mean it. I can tell you in Syria, there will be a lot of damage done to the people that did it. They got the individual person, but there'll be big damage done. And the other, supposedly, they call him a person of interest, so I'll keep it along those lines so we don't get ourselves in any trouble, but they have a person of interest at Brown. And in Australia, you probably read it's been a very, very brave person, actually, who went and attacked frontally one of the shooters and saved a lot of lives. So very brave person who's right now in the hospital, pretty seriously wounded. So I great respect to that man that did that. But we're here for a different reason. We're here to celebrate Christmas and to celebrate, and I think today we can first say loudly, we celebrate Hanukkah. And we have a policy thing that's going to be unbelievable happening. Should I announce it or should I keep it quiet? I put Vince in charge of the Triumphal Ark. We're building an ark like the Arc de Triomphe, and we're building it by the Arlington Bridge, the Arlington Cemetery, opposite the Lincoln Memorial. You could say Jefferson, Washington, everything, because they're all right there. And it's something that is so special. It will be like the one in Paris, but to be honest with you, it blows it away in every way. And Vince came in one day and his eyes were teeming. I mean, he couldn't believe how beautiful it was. He saw it and he wanted to do that. That's your primary thing. There is nothing that can compete with that. It's the only city in the world that's of great importance that doesn't have a triumphal arch. You know what that is? And this one is going to blow them all away. The one that people know mostly is the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, France. And we're going to top it by, I think, a lot. The only thing they have is history. You know, 1860 is something, I always say, the one thing you can't compete with, but eventually we'll have that history too. But we're going to have something that the likes of which has never been done before. And it's been waiting for 200 years, literally. I think the Civil War got in the way of it. You know, the opening, they actually have they have four columns, four small columns with the eagles on top. And they have the circle, you know, before or the other side from the Lincoln. And it's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. It's been waiting for hundreds of years, and they were going to build on it a couple of times. It never happened. But it's a circle that's been waiting to have the ark built on it. And I think we're very far along. I think you might want to show it to the National Trust if you'd like. You might want to show it to a couple of people. Take a look at it, because I've always gotten really along well with the National Trust. So take a look and show it to them. And start, and maybe they give you some good ideas too, okay? But I'm proud of you, and I'm really especially proud of the job you've done. From day one, he and his partner, Ross, have been writing really great speeches, and I just wish I stuck with them a little bit more often. But we go on and off those speeches, right? And I think ultimately that's the best combination, right? So one of the greatest in the world, the two of those guys, the greatest.
Just looking up where they're thinking of putting this thing. To the Arlington Bridge. To the circle. Interesting. But nice place.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the White House. It's nice to see familiar faces. First of all, my thoughts and prayers go to the families of people who lost their loved ones around the world in this difficult time. We are celebrating here Christmas, and I'm thinking about them, what they're going through. So my heart is with them. Good afternoon. Welcome to the White House. It's nice to see familiar faces. First of all, my thoughts and prayers.
Oh, hey, by the way, thank you to, meant to mention this a few minutes ago. Thank you to Steph for that super chat. Saw that roll in a few minutes back. All right, let's. Oh, gonna replace Jerome Powell.
I'll be picking a new head of the Fed soon. Our Fed person is absolutely, despite him, we have numbers that really nobody's ever seen, Vince, right? Despite him, We have numbers that nobody's ever seen before. We're fighting through him, and we'll soon have a good head of the Fed who's going to want to see interest rates go down. But we're fighting through higher interest rates, but the interest rates are coming down despite him. He's an incompetent person who suffers from Trump derangement syndrome, okay? It's one of those little problems. We have many of them. But we're fighting through that stuff. I'll be picking a new head of the Fed soon.
He's incompetent. Jose Antonio Cast won 58% of what? Vote? Oh, Chile. 58% of Chile's vote. Defeating communist candidate Janet Jara. His victory marks Chile's most right-wing government since the dictatorship ended back in 1990. Wow. Good stuff. Further movement in South America. Oversight Committee releases bombshell report revealing DC's police chief deliberately manipulated crime data. Of course they did. Calling black people white, brown people white. Crazy. Anything to fudge those numbers. DC police chief must resign immediately, not in 2 weeks. Our investigation found that Pamela Smith, this moron you see before you here, fostered an ecosystem of fear, retaliation, and toxicity within the Metro PD. Really? Fear and retaliation over what? What was she doing? What kind of bullshit was she mixed up in? Oh, and she was manipulating them crime statistics and shit. You know, all in a day's work. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer threatens the Clintons with contempt of Congress. That's right. Aren't they scheduled to testify here within like the next 2 days or so? I think it's on like the 16th, 17th.
James Comer threatens the Clintons with contempt of Congress proceedings. In a statement Friday, Comer said he was prepared to begin the contempt proceedings against Bill and Hillary Clinton if they don't appear before Congress. He noted it's been 4 months since the couple was subpoenaed for testimony related to the crimes of infamous sex traffickers Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The former president and former Secretary of State are scheduled to appear for the deposition on December 17th. James Comer threatens the Clintons with contempt of Congress.
December 17th, baby. 2 days. Person of interest detained in connection with the Brown shooting has been released. 2 people killed, 9 wounded.
Breaking news overnight in the deadly mass shooting at Brown University in Rhode Island, the shooting that killed 2 students and wounded 9. Police have reopened the search for a suspect after releasing the person they detained. The suspect was seen on video. Police say there's no immediate threat to Brown or the local community despite that release.
How can they say that?
An active shooter incident.
First responders rushed to Brown University's engineering building Saturday afternoon after a shooter fired dozens of rounds inside a classroom, killing 2 students and injuring at least 9 others.
So, if I remember right, the young lady that was killed is she was like the vice chair of like the Young Republicans Club at the school or something like that. You know, young conservative, pretty young lady. It sounded like she was possibly like targeted, like directly. Like she was the first person that was shot. Apparently, the perp entered the room and walked like straight for her, made a beeline for her, pointed the gun in her face and shot. So, could potentially be political. Not really clear yet. Conservatives at Brown University are not a common thing, so.
The campus, filled with students studying for finals week, went into lockdown as officers escorted students to safety and swept buildings searching for the shooter. Police released this video late Saturday showing a person of interest on campus. Then Sunday morning, police said they followed an FBI tip to this hotel 20 miles away and detained someone they called a person of interest. More than 12 hours later, police revealed they are releasing that individual, saying their investigation took them in a different direction.
There was some degree of evidence that pointed to this individual, but that evidence needed to be corroborated and confirmed. And over the last 24 hours, leading into just very, very recently, that evidence now points in a different direction.
Police are still searching for the person in this video.
We followed on a lead, and we followed on this specific lead. Is now
points in a different direction.
Police are still searching for the person in this.
That's it, huh? Like a bit of a chunker.
Searching for the person in this video.
We followed on a lead, and we followed on this specific lead. It's not a mistake. It's just how investigations work.
And we just heard like 5 shots ring out, and we didn't really know what it was at first.
Freshman Alex Mihalovich was studying with friends when he heard gunfire.
We were close to an exit, so we just ran straight for that.
Mihalovich said it wasn't until he was outside that it became clear there was a shooting.
He said he saw someone lying on the floor, so at that point we just looked at each other and just ran.
Kamari Mann said his roommate was one of the students killed.
I'm grieving. The loss of him will be felt throughout this community.
And police have not revealed the names of the widow, but we do have an update on their condition. 7 remain in the hospital in stable condition, 1 is in critical condition, and a 9th person has been released. Meanwhile, the university has canceled all remaining finals and classes.
Wow. Senate takes procedural vote today on anal defense bill. Huh? Oh. Pardon me, excuse me. 234 years ago today, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution were ratified. Bill of Rights. Roomba maker iRobot bought by Chinese supplier after filing for bankruptcy. Oh. Surprise, surprise. Yes. House vote expected this week on the GOP healthcare plan.
Why don't we do both?
Fox News senior medical analyst Dr. Mark Siegel joins us now. Dr. Siegel, thanks for coming on.
Great to see you.
So that's good news, optimism. Hopefully we will have a compromise because the tax credits will expire at the end of the year. Premiums are going to go up big time. Do you support the Democratic plan where we extend the tax credits, or the Republican plan where you give money, put it in an HSA for every person that's affiliated with Obamacare?
I'm more on the side of the Republican plan, but let me tell you what's going to happen. I also spoke to Congresswoman Virginia Fox, who was here over the weekend. I'm not going to put her on the spot, but she thinks a deal is going to be made, too. The deal is probably going to include kicking the can down the road on the subsidies for a couple of years, while at the same time starting to introduce this idea you're talking about, which is putting the money in the pockets of the patients. Because the problem with Obamacare is it's a propped-up situation where you're literally flooding the insurance companies with money for delivering an inferior product that doesn't really take care of anybody, because doctors can't work with it, because patients have these huge $6,000 or more deductibles that eat up when they really need emergency care or at least semi-urgent care. I can't get it for them. Yeah, it'll get me a colonoscopy for my patient, but if I find anything, I may not be able to do anything about it. The idea of restricted health savings accounts where the patient can make the decision of what they're going to use it for, where they can save away, the way President Trump has been saying, the way that Senator Cassidy has been saying, I'm all for that. I think what's going to happen is that the subsidies will be for a certain select group where they don't think that's going to happen, and then the health savings accounts for people that can use it more effectively. I think both are good. There'll be a deal where both is true. I can't wait until the current Obamacare structure goes away. It's
honestly
sucking the federal funding and not giving real.
It's just gotta go.
Care.
All right, Dr. Siegel, congratulations. New York Times bestseller, The Miracles Among Us, your new book. Also, there's a Fox Nation special if anyone wants to watch.
New memos, excuse me. New memos show how corruption probe into Clinton Foundation was killed. We were told no by FBI headquarters. When did this happen? Okay, top Republican senators just provided Just the News a timeline written by FBI investigators laying out the repeated political obstruction those agents faced from their own bosses and the Justice Department during the 2016 election and beyond, as they probed whether Hillary Clinton engaged in a pay-to-play corruption scheme involving her family foundation. You bet. You bet she did. Field agents were frustrated, but HQ would not let it go forward. The newly released and lengthy investigative timeline reveals. We were trying to explore the Clinton Foundation, and we were told no by FBI HQ. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley made the records produced to him by Kash Patel and Bondi, AG Bondi, available to Just the News this weekend. See. Follows Kash Patel unearthing a shorter timeline written in 2017, which also chronicled the extensive stonewalling the Bureau investigators in the three cities faced from the Obama-era DOJ and FBI during the 2016 election. FBI agents tried to get the help of federal prosecutors to determine whether or what crimes occurred while Hillary Clinton served as Secretary of State, most notably, because at that time, her family foundation, that's right, was soliciting hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign and U.S. interests with business before her department. Basically, like textbook corruption. It's out in the open, blatant. Shut it down. Then Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates is quoted as demanding, apparently a direct quote. That's funny. Shut it down, she says. Jeez, man. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi shares her bullish outlook for the House. Oh, great.
What's been your biggest disappointment? In 2007.
All reconstruction, the brain.
Oh God, what? Huh?
The whole thing is
just gather your thoughts, and then talk.
Traumatic and as well as physical. However, it stays with you. You get dizzy, and you can fall. You break something when you. So it has ramifications beyond the incident. But he's lovely. I feel terrible because.
Oh, so you weren't talking about yourself being old. You were talking about someone else.
They're looking.
That's cute. All right, here she is saying, oh, she says, not being successful in banning guns is her biggest disappointment. She just really wants your guns, you guys.
And what's been your biggest disappointment?
My disappointment, I always have it, I'll never give up on it, is guns. A four-letter word, guns. Guns. That children would be dying in a classroom, that families, just the saddest thing. But it's about two things. That politicians should think that their political survival is more important than the survival of children and families in our country. And that the gun industry, I'm not talking about lobbyists here, no, I'm talking about the gun industry with endless big money just deciding that they are gun.
Oh yeah, you would never, ever be guilty of being influenced by money. Would you, Nancy?
And have it their way at the
certainly not money from big corporations, right?
Cost of lives in our country so they can make a profit. And it's a global issue too. I mean, you understand that guns are a border
fucking hypocrite
issue as well. They don't care. They just care about making money. So it's money. And
for that to tumble out of her mouth, my God. Really? Did she really just say that?
A border issue as well. They don't care. They just care about making money. So
that's rich. President Biden yesterday attended the Eagle-Raiders game. Press support for the Eagles while speaking to NBC Philadelphia reporter John Clark. Oh, God. How pitiful was this? Oh, God. Look at him. Oh, no. He's doing the face. He's doing the Joe face.
Go Birds! Go Birds, man! All the way, you gotta win the Super Bowl again.
What the fuck was that?
Go Birds! Go Birds, man!
Go Birds, man! And then...
All the way, you gotta win the
Yeah.
We gotta get it back moving, man. Go Birds! All the way, you gotta win the Super Bowl again.
What the fuck, dude?
I'm going to be here today. It's always cool to be here. We gotta get it back moving, man.
I have nothing. I don't even have a guess as to what he was saying. Nope. I don't think he knows either. I mean, just look at that. He could be anywhere right now in his mind. Probably is. No clue. Sniffing kids, probably. Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion Monday, December 15th, Erica Kirk says. So, today. Candace Owens and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. Can these two just, like, I don't know, like, climb into a mud pit and have it out on live television? I'd watch it. Ilhan Omar. Who knows what she's saying? Let's see.
Everybody knows I came to the United States at the age of 12, gained my citizenship at the age of 17, and I am an elected representative in the House of Congress, and so the House of Representatives in Congress. And so for me, you know, I look at it as a display of his ignorance. And I see it as a national embarrassment that he continues to say those kind of things.
I see a national embarrassment too. What do you know?
Even though he does know what. It is really disturbing and creepy to have the President of the United States be obsessed with you. And those who share your ethnicity. I know that he is deflecting.
We're not obsessed with you. We just want you the fuck out of our country.
From the failures.
Big difference.
Of his presidency. He rather scapegoat us.
I'm just tired of your bullshit, lady. Ilhan Omar's chilling ties to the butcher of Hargeisa? What even is that? Some, like, psycho militant murderer warlord? African warlord of some kind? Must be. Behind a paywall. Oh well. I believe it. DNI Tulsi Gabbard says 2,000 Afghan refugees in the U.S. have ties to terrorism. Surprise, surprise. Almost like they wanted it. Piling them all in after Joe's debacle. All right. Trump HUD Secretary Scott Turner declares Boston Mayor Michelle Wu's race-based housing program violates federal law. You bet your ass it does. And a full-fledged investigation is underway. They are disfavoring white people. Directly. Straight up. Like, they don't even beat around the bush about it.
Policy is clear, though. Financial housing assistance is not just for all low-income persons, but instead particularly
for the BIPOCs.
For those residents. So what can you explain about that and what's going on in Boston?
Yeah, so Bob, they put race above reality. They put race above merit and need, using the Fair Housing Act as a weapon to promote discriminatory housing policies. And at HUD, our responsibility is to uphold the Fair Housing Act, to uphold the law and to enforce the law. And that's exactly why you see us launching this investigation. And you alluded to, in the city's own words, they say, we will integrate racial equity at every layer of city government. What that tells us right there, it's not about need, it's not about following the law, but it's about DEI. And at HUD, DEI is dead, it's over. And the president, with his leadership, this administration, we want to uphold the law. We want to protect the civil rights of every American. We are about equal rights, but not extra rights.
Good.
That's what you see going on in Boston.
Yeah, they wanted to advance that DEI agenda instead of just having a fair playing field for all of us. Policy.
Federal trial for Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan set to begin today after she's accused of helping a dangerous illegal alien evade ICE detection. Oh yeah, that wacko bitch.
Today, a federal
A little gremlin-looking.
Trial is set.
Oh come on, where's her photo?
An illegal migrant evade.
There she is. Ah!
Judge Hannah Dugan allegedly tried to distract agents by falsely telling officers they needed a judicial warrant as they were trying to arrest a Mexican national who was in this country illegally. She could face up to 6 years in prison if convicted. Today, a federal
6 years, baby. Hope they throw every last one of those at her. Madison Cawthorn's running again, really? Hot Wheels himself?
Welcome back to the Right Book Club. I'm here with the one and only Madison Cawthorn down here in the Palm House.
I'm sorry.
In Palm Beach, Florida. Madison, big news. You're running for Byron Donald's seat.
I am indeed, yeah. So after I got redistricted in North Carolina, I moved down. If I wasn't going to represent myself, I wanted the best congressman in the country, Byron Donalds, to represent me. So moved down. About 2 weeks after I moved in, we got hit by Hurricane Ian. And, you know, it's great to be around so many patriots, unlike, you know, purple states or blue states. But being here with guys like Adam Weiss, incredible patriots, we're here to celebrate Eric Trump and his new book.
But we want to celebrate Eric. We're celebrating this new club. It's really heartwarming that a conservative book launch. Like I said earlier, during the first Trump administration, they were canceling conservative authors. They couldn't even get book deals. Just like the media tried to cancel you, they were always out to get you. The establishment was out to get you. They should have left you where you were, but it took a while, and hopefully this time around there is no establishment out to get you, or the media won't out. Actually, the media is probably out to get more people. Maybe they'll leave you alone this time. Right?
That's absolutely.
Yeah, maybe they'll leave you alone down there.
Absolutely right. And, you know, I really think we're currently living in the dream of Rush Limbaugh. You know, he always pontificated on having, you know, an alternate to what the establishment had, having, you know, a different and a completely amazing economy that was able to actually compete against what the left-wing Democrats had and the establishment had a chokehold on. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're in a room filled with some of the America's and Palm Beach and Florida's most influential people in the world, all here to celebrate right-wing authors and people who are saying, no, we're going to stand up to cancel culture, and we are going to win the cultural revolution in this country.
And it's one step at a time. Like the president hosted the Kennedy Center honors the other day. Who would have thought? Went back and he's hosting the Kennedy Center honor. That's taking back culture a little bit at a time. And we're fighting the good fight, and you're fighting the good fight.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, when is the primary?
Oh, the primary is August 18th, so it's a long one. We're in a very good position right now. We have very high name ID. You know, we've been there for 4 years. Obviously, we were a big ally for President Trump while he was out of office, and so it's looking like we're going to have a dominant victory, but it's going to be a hard-fought battle. I'm looking forward to it.
And if anybody doesn't know, all our viewers out there, Naples is about 2 hours away from here, right?
That is correct.
So it's not that far. They didn't build the Bright Line to get there yet, but maybe we can work on that.
Hey, you know, we got Alligator Alley, and going down, and you get to pass Alligator Alcatraz, getting rid of all the illegals trying to destroy our country. So, brother, it's an honor to be on, Adam. We love Real America's Voice. We love you. Thank you all so much.
Congressman, thank you again.
There we go. Running for Byron Donald's seat. All right. Volodymyr Zelensky offered to drop Ukraine's aspirations to join the NATO alliance to end the war with Russia as he held 5 hours of talks with U.S. envoys in Berlin. What about giving up land, though? Is that... A lot of this seems to kind of hinge on that. Oh, very nice that he's agreeing not to join NATO. Like, what do you do? But somehow I don't think that's going to clinch the deal.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has offered to drop his country's bid to join the NATO military alliance in exchange for Western security guarantees. The proposal came ahead of 5 hours of peace talks with U.S. diplomats in Berlin on Sunday. It marks a major shift for Ukraine, which has fought to join NATO as a safeguard against future Russian attacks, and even has the aspiration in its constitution. The shift also meets one of Russia's war aims, although Kyiv continues to hold firm against ceding territory to Moscow. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff said a lot of progress was made in Berlin, though full details were not divulged. Ukraine said Zelensky would comment on the talks on Monday once they were completed, with officials considering the draft documents. A Reuters source said German Chancellor Friedrich Merz made brief remarks before leaving the two sides to negotiate. Other European leaders are also due in Germany for talks on Monday. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly demanded that Ukraine drop its NATO bid, pull troops from the remaining parts of the Donbas region that it still controls, and remain neutral with no NATO forces on its soil. Moscow sources said earlier this year that Putin also wants a written pledge from Western powers to halt NATO's eastward expansion, ruling out membership for Ukraine and other former Soviet states.
No joke. Are you serious? That's crazy. I had no idea. Rob Reiner's wife, Michelle Singer, was the photographer who took the photo for Trump's book, Art of the Deal. That's wild. What a bizarre piece of trivia. Great photo. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio scheduled to provide a classified brief to the Senate on Tuesday at 10 a.m. regarding the ongoing military buildup and activity in the Southern Caribbean. Disney CEO Bob Iger warns Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers could pose a pricing danger to consumers. Okay, Bob, you got? Not really a fan of the deal, just generally speaking. But then again, I'm not really a fan of Bob Iger, so let's see. While Iger refused to outright state whether or not the proposed Netflix acquisition is good or bad, he left little doubt that the deal worries him. If I were a regulator looking at this combination, I'd look at a few things. First of all, I would look at what the impact is on the consumer. Oh, well, here we go. We'll just let him say it.
First of all, why?
Oh, never mind. That's like 13 minutes long. I'll take the highlights. First of all, I'd look at what the impact is on the consumer. Will one company end up with pricing leverage that might be considered a negative or damaging to the consumer? And with a significant amount of streaming subscriptions across the world, does that ultimately give Netflix pricing leverage over the consumer that might not necessarily be healthy? Yeah, it does. He also worried that delivering a theatrical film producer into the hands of a streaming concern might hurt theaters that are already operating with relatively thin margins. Oh, you bet. Absolutely it would. 100%. Netflix's schedule of theatrical release is a joke. If they bother to do it, which is far from a guarantee, these movies spend maybe like a week in theaters, and that's it. On to streaming, which is terrible. I mean, it's terrible for people making the movies. It's terrible for the theaters. Terrible for the end consumer. And I'm getting a shittier product, I can guarantee you that. Bad news. Okay, theaters require not only volume, but they require interaction with these films and these movie companies that give them the ability to monetize successfully. That's very, very important global business. We've been certainly participating in a very big way. We've had 33 $1 billion films in the last 20 years. Wow. So we're mindful of protecting the health of that business. It's very important to what I'll call the media ecosystem globally. Sarandos of Netflix, Ted Sarandos, said, "We didn't buy this company to destroy that value. We're deeply committed to releasing Warner Brothers movies exactly the way they release those movies today." Yeah, how long will that last for? All right. 34th National Wreaths Across America Day took place December 13th, a couple days ago at Arlington National. Arlington's just a beautiful place. Here's the Udvar Hazy Center. That's the Air and Space Museum. Great place. If you're ever in the area, go visit it. If you like planes, make absolutely sure you go see this place. Got a Blackbird in there. Bunch of space stuff. Full of great pieces of history. Very cool place. Wish I would have known this was going on. I would love to have been down there. Now we get Chuck Schumer. Oh, great. Here we go. What now?
And of course, I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Sydney, Australia.
Of course you are.
Okay? So, and first, of course, as I always say, no matter what, go Bills. They beat the Patriots today. It's a big deal.
Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell?
Of course, I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Sydney, Australia.
I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Australia, okay? So, first, of course, go Bills.
Okay. So, and first...
Was he trying to be insulting, or?
First, of course, as I always say, no matter what.
What a thing to say.
Go Bills. They beat the Patriots today. It's a big deal. And
yeah, people died, Chuck. People died, and you're talking about the Bills and the Patriots. Idiot. Yeah, football mind. Yep, football brain. WGA fears Disney's licensing. It's Writers Guild fears Disney's licensing with OpenAI will sanction theft. Yeah, Disney. Since we're on the topic of Disney, recently, Disney just made a big deal with OpenAI, allowing use of their I don't know about all of their intellectual property, but at least some of their significant, like, cartoon characters and stuff in OpenAI's video and image generation software. They're one of the companies that are, rather than fighting it, they're going all in with it. Creepy. Writers Guild strongly criticized the recent Disney deal with OpenAI in a message to union members on Thursday. Disney's announcement with OpenAI appears to sanction its theft of our work, and cedes the value of what we create to a tech company that has built its business off our backs. Bingo. Yeah, 100%. Adding the union will meet with the studio to probe the terms of the deal, including the extent to which user-generated videos use the work of WGA members. We'll continue to fight to protect our members' creative and economic interests in the context of AI tech. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Large Marge returning to The View, huh? She's going back. Just a few days after leaving Congress. Oh, surprise, surprise. What do you want to bet they're going to hire her on as a host? Give it a few months. She's found her people, you guys. She's found her people, finally, after all these years. It just took a while. Had to, try a few identities on for size. In 38 states, the average gas price is below $3 a gallon. 23 states, it's below $2.75 a gallon. In 7 states, it's below $2.50 a gallon. Oh, dang. Americans can even find gas below $2 a gallon at some stations in at least 5 states: Kansas, Texas, Colorado, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. Wow. Oh, sorry, I meant to bring that up a few minutes back. I saw your message roll in there. Just the title said breaking Rob Reiner's son arrested. Did they arrest him? Yep.
This is
arrested. There it is. Weird. Yeah, there it is. Arrested and held on $4 million bail. Wow. Oh, can't wait to find out the details of this one. Gas prices at their lowest level since March of 2021. Hey, hey. Very good. Okay. January 6th, police hero becomes go-to witness for Democrats in Congress to counter Trump. Which one? Oh, Hodges. No. Garbage. Oh, 2 insane New J6 pipe bomb developments. Okay, I've not seen this. I think we got just enough time to play that out. We'll come back to it. Let me bust out a last few here. Weaponization. We now know efforts by the CIA resulted in Joe Biden being installed in 2020. Crazy thing is, the CIA's domestic color revolution tactics were perfectly legal. Yeah. Thomas Massey says it's Monday, December 15th, according to the Epstein Files Transparency Act signed by Donald Trump on November 19th. AG must release to the public the Epstein Files in possession of the DOJ and FBI by Friday this week, December 19th. Hey, Biden's presidential library fundraising has hit rock bottom, according to New York Times reporting. Oh yeah, I bet. No one's going to want to fund that. Just, it's dead in the womb. It's like, where's this going to go? His administration's going to get just completely decimated. Everything he did is now being called into question. Not surprised they're not able to raise the funding for this. I wouldn't donate to something like that.
Former President Joe Biden is falling far short of the money needed to build his presidential library. The New York Times finding through public filings that Biden received no new donations for that library in 2024. The Times writes this, quote, Mr. Biden's foundation told the IRS this year it expected to bring in $11.3 million total by the end of 2027. That would be far lower than the pace set by other recent presidents and far less than the $200 million that Biden aides said that they needed to raise or wanted to raise eventually. Discussions reportedly underway to consider consolidating the future.
At that rate, it's going to take them damn near 20 years to get there.
Library with...
Well, and that's assuming it stays constant over 20 years, which it won't.
Biden's pre-existing institutions at the University of Delaware, including the planned Biden Hall, which already has planned funding. Former President...
Wow. European leaders expected to cement support for Ukraine Monday as it faces Washington's pressure to swiftly accept a U.S.-brokered peace deal. Oh, here we go. A timeline of the complete failures of the Providence Police Department after the shooting at Brown.
Saturday at 4:22, Brown University sent an alert of an active shooter and went into lockdown. Students and staff were still being evacuated from buildings as of 1:54 Sunday morning.
What on earth?
They detained the person of interest at 3:45 in the morning on Sunday at a hotel. The shelter-in-place order is lifted at 5:42 in the morning, and then last night at 11 p.m., they announced they got the wrong guy, and this manhunt is underway. They are now urging the public. They are asking for help, especially if they have any photos or videos, to go to FBI.gov / Brown University shooting, or to call 401-652-5767 with any tips.
That's crazy. Kamala Harris, you've got to be shitting me. Planning another presidential campaign. Bring it on. Please, please do. Harris stepping towards another White House run. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. All right, J.D. Vance demands Senate Republicans nuke the blue slip. Yeah, holding up all the nominees. Oh, there's Trump talking about Reiner. There's a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, indeed, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. What? Sometimes referred to as TDS. Wait, how does his TDS tie into his death? It is... I wonder about the son. Oh boy. Okay. He was known to have driven people crazy, such as perhaps his son, by his raging obsession with President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump admin surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Weird. Oh, wonder what the details are here. Okay. Oh, just within the past hour, FBI announces it foiled a planned New Year's Eve terror plot that would have targeted Los Angeles or arrested. All right, now let's go back to this one with the pipe bomb stuff. All right, here we go.
There's two big developments that happened this week on the pipe bomb. Benny Johnson was interviewing Representative Loudermilk, who is the head of the January 6th subcommittee, the Republican subcommittee investigating really the elements of the Fedsurrection.
One of the things that has raised our eyebrows is as we go and we look for video on January 6th, because we want early morning video on January 6th to see, did anybody go back to these locations?
Of course.
Unfortunately, that video apparently doesn't exist anymore. We do have the January 5th video, but we've been told that no one ever preserved January 6th. So that does raise our eyebrows a bit. But you're right, both devices were placed either, the person doing the pipe bomb wasn't very experienced. He was just trying to get them down and go, or they were left to be found. And so it is pretty amazing. And, Mrs. Younger said she walked out her back door. It wasn't there earlier in the morning, but she saw it later, and it would, give reason to believe that she would have noticed it if it was there in the morning. So that's one of the reasons we do want to talk to her.
Okay, you just blew my mind here. According to the FBI, according to the internals at the FBI, there's 39,000 videos showing his movement.
Look at that. They're playing the video I made in Adobe. You guys see this?
Yeah.
This is my video. That's awesome. This is me highlighting the glasses. That's so funny. Everyone's always like, Benz, go to bed earlier. Why are you up until 5 a.m. editing videos? I'm like, this is why. It's for moments like this. Because nobody was even zooming in and posting zoomed in videos.
Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill in particular is the most surveilled area arguably in the world.
Yes.
And you're telling me there's no footage from January 6th of the actual areas where you'd have to travel to place these pipe bombs?
None of the camera angles like behind the RNC, behind the DNC, that we know of that exist today, of where this person would have been had the closest angles. And so that has inhibited our investigation into this theory of maybe they were placed back out again. And this is something new that we've just come across. We're starting to scour through all the Capitol Police cameras, because there is a Capitol Police building over by the DNC. It's called the Fairchild Building, and they do have cameras there. And that's been some of the cameras that have given us most of the evidence. So our team is going back through, and it takes a while when you look at how many cameras there are and you're looking for hours of video, because we're talking about this device was put out at around 8 p.m. on the 5th. Now we've got to look from 8 p.m. all the way to 1 p.m. on the 6th to see, did anyone else go by there? Was there any other traffic, any suspicious activity going on there? So that takes a while.
So that was the chairman of the House January 6th Select Committee. And what he just told you, this is from the FBI YouTube page. See right here, it says Federal Bureau of Investigation. This camera right here, this camera footage is from January 5th. And what he appears to be saying there is that this camera, which was not seized until after January 6th, it was seized by the FBI because of the events of January 6th. What he appears to be saying, although it's so unbelievable, my blood is boiling as I'm articulating the sentence and I'm trying to calm myself down. What he appears to be saying is that the FBI does not have any footage. See, the pipe bomb was planted right here by this leg of the park bench, okay? Right here in between these, this is where the pipe bomb will be planted, right here. What he appears to be saying is that this very same security camera, which is pointed out directly at the park bench, the FBI deleted the footage on January 6th itself, overlooking the exact same park bench. If that is true, there can only be one explanation for that. That they did that on purpose because it was an inside job. That is the most key piece of evidence. Now, in theory, there are two different versions of that footage. You had a security camera looking straight at the bench. There's the original tape on the camera, and then there are whatever copies of the original retained by the DNC. Immediately, Chairman Loudermilk has got to subpoena the DNC for retained copies of this camera. That's step one. If the FBI says we deleted it, go get the, unless the DNC also deleted their own security camera footage. That's step one. I want to see that announced by the J6 subcommittee this week. Step two is you fucking get the chain of custody of this camera and see the last person at the FBI who touched it before it got deleted. And then you arrest that person for tampering with evidence, for obstruction of justice. The thing that makes me uncomfortable as I watch that, and I love Representative Loudermilk, I think he's amazing on this, and it takes balls, the weight and heft of anvils to pursue this. I found myself frustrated watching that clip, those sentences could be uttered without an immediate follow-up statement about subpoenaing the FBI for the chain of custody of those tapes. I'm not okay with, okay, well, the FBI deleted the evidence. That sucks. No, that's a crime. That's a crime. Because the FBI is where evidence goes to die. I am sure there are legal arguments to be made about intent. And that if you can't prove intent, then accidental deletion of evidence may not be criminal. And you may need to prove gross negligence or something if you can't prove willful intent. Cool. Bring the charges, prove intent in court, make the indictment, allege intent, and prove it once you've seized all that person's electronics and personal communications. Force whoever was the last person to touch this before it disappeared into the ether to prove in court what happened to that fucking footage. Because right now, we are being led to believe that this very thing, what happened here is so important to the story of January 6th. The first pipe bomb was discovered 2 minutes before the first approach to the Penn Walkway entrance and like 7 minutes before the first breach. It was the discovery of the pipe bombs that reduced the police presence and allowed the perimeter breach in the first place. And then Kamala Harris lied. The Justice Department lied for 10 months. 10 months later, after they had to redo the criminal indictments, they had to refile grand jury indictments because the DOJ lied. Turned out Kamala Harris was right fucking here at the DNC. This footage you're looking at of him on this park bench, it took the Trump administration to release this footage because the Biden administration left off this part of the camera. And it's at 1 frame per second. Here's the pipe bomber right here. I'm just going to play this. He's scooting over to the right side of the bench. And we are told that right there is when he took it out and placed it. This is insane, by the way. This is so insane. I want to open this in Adobe real quick. Here is the footage released by the Trump administration, the Trump FBI. That's how long it took. And I'm going to zoom into this now. So this is the moment we are told that the pipe bomb is being planted. Let me turn the scaling way up here. You guys see it right here? Unbelievable how degraded this is. It's just unbelievable. This is only 8 o'clock at night. Here is, we are told, the moment that this camera captures him planting the bomb. Now, this is very herky-jerky. I'm just going to let it play. So is that supposed to be the pipe bomb right there? Is this supposed to be the device? Right here? Let's see, was it there before? Doesn't look like the device is there, and then it looks like it's there. So it looks like this is supposed to be the pipe bomb. And just play this again. Here he is, scooting over. This, we are told, is the pipe bomb. This spec, and this completely degraded. Remember, the DNC headquarters was broken into during Watergate. And at 8 p.m., it's not even fully dark out. This is supposed to be the pipe bomb.
Yeah.
We don't know what the fuck this is. And the question all along has been, given that the bomb-sniffing dogs who went by that morning didn't smell anything, given that the FBI under the Biden administration was so cagey about giving us this footage, we did not get this for the entire first 4 years of this investigation. This is the missing money shot from camera 1 that I made that video on. Remember this one? This is it. They showed this and then showed him walking out of frame, but they never showed him walking back up to the bench to actually plant the device. Which makes no fucking sense if you're offering a 50, then 100, then 250, then $500,000 reward. Again, they showed this angle where the pipe bomb is obscured by the bush, and they showed this angle, but only him coming into it, not him actually planting the bomb there. Then finally, the Trump FBI releases this of the actual commission. So it looks like he's got it in his hand right here, if you can see, and then he's going to deposit it or drop it right there. Now, let me pull up the indictment again. I believe Kyle Seraphin pointed out, now they showed that he's got the pipe bomb parts, right? Powder. So the IEDs contained all these component parts. Now, I think I heard Kyle Seraphin point this out. Now, Kyle is a lot more skeptical, it seems, about the identity of the suspect, but he did make an interesting point, which is that I don't believe, remember how we went over on that stream last week, how it looked like all these different Cole's purchases of the bomb-making equipment in June and November. He bought the pipes, he bought the end caps, he bought the 9-volt batteries, he bought the white kitchen-style timer, he bought the red and black electrical wire, he bought the steel wool, he bought the safety glasses, he bought the wire stripping tool, the wire nuts, the sandpaper, a machinist file, protective gloves, and disinfecting wipes. There's one big thing missing here. The thing that's missing here is the thing that makes it go boom. Where's the gunpowder? I believe it was Catherine Herridge who broke this while she was at CBS. I remember this is how keyed into this just from memory. I believe in 2021 she broke the story of the explosive report. This was it. Law enforcement report from January 7th at CBS News lays out, this is the National Explosives Task Force report. And here they had unknown powder. I remember there was a big thing in this report. Here you go. March 2021. A powdery substance consistent with the oxidizer potassium nitrate, fuel sulfur, and a fuel consistent with charcoal, a powdery substance. This is what they say. So one of the issues is, for this to even be called a explosive device, there has to be explosive material contained in that pipe bomb. Given this guy was an obvious patsy, talked into doing this, in my view, he's some autistic My Little Pony freak. It's quite possible that he was talked into planting these devices, but he didn't actually have the explosive black powder, and that was swapped in, that the device was swapped. It's possible. And we would know that if you simply had this footage on the morning of January 6th. All it would take is taking this exact camera and looking to see who between 8 p.m. on January 5th and 1 p.m. on January 6th walked over to this park bench. What we're now being told is that someone may have done that, and the actual camera staring straight at the drop site of the pipe bomb magically fucking disappeared. Like every camera in the Oklahoma City Alfred P. Murrah building, like every camera at the Pentagon on 9/11. Now, because that camera will definitively answer the question of whether the device planted by this idiot is the same one that was discovered that day, that would be exactly why you would delete this key piece of evidence if you were the FBI. And if you do not bring criminal charges against the exact FBI agent who last touched it, they will get away with this. You put that person under the penalty of jail time, they will squeal. They will rat out their supervisor. You will get answers. So it boggles my mind that that's not even being discussed. Who was the fucking FBI agent who last had the physical copy of the security camera that we are looking at right now, which we are told has now been deleted? There's something called a chain of custody. All evidence has to have a recorded chain of custody because that gets interrogated in any trial. The defendant in a trial has a right to interrogate the validity of the evidence entered and could make the argument, if there's no chain of custody, that that wasn't my pipe bomb. You can't prove those are my fingerprints on it because I can't see the chain of custody of who handled the pipe bomb after you took it off the ground.
Tampered with?
The chain of custody will tell you the names of the individuals at the FBI and DOJ who handled this tape. And there has to be, in the view of this Justice Department, a working presumption that the last person who touched it deleted it. Was it stored in a vault? Was it stored in a forensics lab? What was the last known date it was seen? What was the last known date it was seen missing? Then watch the cameras to see who took the physical copy of the tape out. You can't let them get away with this. This is an unbelievably key piece of evidence. That's just, okay. Now the second thing, which makes it even fucking crazier, is this. For all of the questions about Carlin Younger, the person who found the RNC pipe bomb, which then triggered the search for the DNC pipe bomb, her working at this shady security contractor, they got like a $92 million FBI contract or DHS contract, like a month before the January 6th, which creates an obvious kind of, wow, the person who found the pipe bomb, her company just got like paid off by the FBI to the tune of almost $100 million right before she's the one who discovered the pipe bomb. But what came out is totally wild. Right after the fact, this is an FBI intake document the week after January 6th, 8 days later, submitted text. I'm the person that discovered and alerted the guards the pipe bomb found next to RNC on January 6th. I wanted to identify myself in case there are additional details I can provide that might be useful to the investigation. I did not see, nor do I recognize the person of interest socialized in the media. However, I can confirm that the device must have been placed between 12 p.m. and 12:40 Eastern Standard Time because it was not present when I went down to the area to start laundry at 12 p.m. But it was present when I returned to continue the laundry around 12:40. So she is saying that she can confirm that the device must have been placed between 12 and 12:40. Again, the breach of the Capitol happened at 1 p.m. It happened at 12:53 p.m. was the first breach of the Penn Walkway entrance, the outside perimeter. Must have been discovered between 12 and 12:40 because the RNC pipe bomb, which was discovered first, which set off the search that found the DNC pipe bomb, because it was not present at 12 p.m. when I went to do launch. Because the official story is this person who worked for a company that had this almost $100 million recent FBI contract, and who then went on to do disinformation work, Pendulum or something like that. I forget the name of the company.
Pendulum, yeah.
So what she's saying is that this footage that the FBI later put out, we're told this was the suspect in the back alley of the RNC. You guys remember like this infamous footage of him behind the alley of the RNC right here? Then
like a few over here. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it quits there. I gotta go hit the restroom. Yeah. Yes. The Fedora is here. How you doing, man?
Oh, just doing pretty good considering the situation.
Yeah.
5 minutes before the wife woke up, so I had to get her something, and Windows, they decided to, well, I had a power outage, and when it brought everything up, Windows did an update, and
Oh, that's the worst, yeah.
screwed everything up.
Yeah, it takes
Oh my
forever.
God.
Yep.
And then I'm not so sure if Zoom had an update too, and
They did, yeah.
everything was it was unsorted altogether. So I've been trying to sort that out, and Raji's been trying to sort out the opening. So
Cool. Well,
have you seen our mascot?
yeah. No, what's this? A mascot?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my mascot. Yeah, it's a dog-faced pony soldier.
There
So
you go.
stick around first part, and you'll see the mascot and Raji. Raji's my producer. Actually, Raji was supposed to be look like me. I asked Gemini to make it look like me, and each time it kept it looking like Raji. So I am ready to go, and I think I think I'm set. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, I'll let you get to it then.
All righty.
Yeah, have a good show.
All right. Hey, everybody. How are you today?
All right. There we go. Well, YouTube, I'll be back this evening. At least I assume, unless Badass Uncle Sam happens to be able to do a show tonight. We'll see. I expect I'll probably be in. So I will see you in about 6 hours' time. All right. Bye.